Each year, an estimated 400,000 children and youth toil under the hot sun while working on farms across the United States. Though their labor contributes to the U.S. agriculture industry and puts food on the table of many Americans, child agricultural laborers are at risk of losing their childhood, their health, and their education. In the United States, an estimated 100,000 children suffer agriculture-related injuries annually, making it one of the most dangerous occupations for our children. In addition, there is a severe lack of access to health care, which is highly disproportionate to that of non-migrant farm-working children. Despite the hazards inherent in agriculture, children working as farm laborers have less legal protections than children working in any other industry. Child farm workers can legally work at age 12, and often as young as 10 or 11, for longer hours and under more hazardous conditions than children in other jobs. In order to help support their families, many farm worker children drop out of school and work alongside their parents in the field. Often, those that are fortunate enough to attend must change schools frequently in order for their families to follow opportunities along the migrant stream. Poverty and migration make it difficult for farm worker children to create a different future for themselves. The migrant lifestyle imposes both physical and mental stresses on children and families. Aside from the physical stress from back-breaking labor, the damage caused by exposure to toxic pesticides can be linked to birth defects, developmental problems, skin irritations, and chronic illness. Even when children do not work, they may be at risk. Because childcare facilities are rarely available, many farm worker children are present in the fields, exposing them to pesticides on plants and in the dirt, as well as extreme heat and dehydration. Children working in agriculture in the U.S. account for 40% of work-related fatalities among minors, with 50% of these victims being younger than 15 years old. Between 1995 and 2002, 907 youth died on farms. Although the risk of agriculture work is so high, children working in agriculture can work unlimited hours outside of school hours and do not receive the same protections provided to other working youth. Child agriculture workers risk their life, health, and education when working on farms and are often severely underpaid or paid nothing for their labor. Farm worker children face enormous challenges in regards to their education. It is estimated that 65% of farm worker children will never graduate high school. On average, the highest grade completed by farm workers is 7th grade, and only 13% complete 12 years of schooling. The average migrant child may attend 3 different schools during one academic year, many taking 3 years to advance 1 grade level. Despite the many struggles that migrant farm-working children and youth face, a number of organizations advocate for enhanced educational programming to ensure that every child has equal access to education. The Association of Farm Worker Opportunity Programs has recently initiated the Children in the Fields campaign aimed at building grassroots and national support for policies and programs to help keep farm worker children out of the fields and in school. The Migrant Education Program of North Carolina aims to help migrant students and youth meet high academic challenges by identifying and recruiting migrant students and providing high-quality supplemental and support services. Connecting farm-working youth to activities that allow them to learn, explore, and have fun, involve them in their community, and boost their self-esteem motivates them to stay engaged in their own education. These activities also lead to greater parental involvement in the lives of their children, their school, and their community. The Migrant Head Start program, a federally subsidized educational program, has proven to be very beneficial to children who move frequently, but as with most programs, the need outweighs the resources. Out-of-school youth, whose lives and experiences are even more limited because of lack of formal education and peer groups that schools provide, are in dire need of attention. In the past year, farm-working youth from Eastern North Carolina were given the opportunity to work with professional photographer and instructor Peter Eversole, partnered with the Migrant Education Program on a project titled Tell My Story. The Tell My Story photography workshop gives youth the opportunity to explore and document their world, opening pathways of personal expression and building skills that can be applied to many life situations. By having the youth express themselves, serving as photojournalists and documentarians of the reality, community interests are addressed and social change is possible. Photography also serves as a good indicator of mindset, giving insight into emotions that migrant youth are reluctant to share verbally. In participating, students learn new skills, have new experiences, create friendships, find value in self-expression, and most importantly, have fun, as all children have the right to do. Many of the images and all of the video footage of this film were taken by farm-working youth as part of the Tell My Story project. The effectiveness of migrant education programs can be seen through youth leaders in the community, such as Raul Granados, who comes from a migrant farm-working family himself, and uses drama to raise public awareness surrounding the farm-working community. Raul now leads the Student Action with Farm Workers youth group, Levante, by engaging farm-working youth through a theatrical production presenting the challenges farm-working youth face. The power of expression has proved to open a world unknown to many farm-working youth, helping them develop leadership skills while promoting awareness of problems of their community, such as pesticide health risks, poor housing, and low wages. Many youth who participate in such programming excel in school, attend college, and become successful professionals, returning to their communities to serve as leaders and mentors for the next generation of farm-working children and youth. Despite the importance of such programming, farm-working youth and kids are not receiving these services because of funding cuts and lack of resources and personnel needed for these programs to function. Without programs that provide these services, migrant farm-working children and youth are destined to fall into the perpetual cycle of poverty and exploitation that exists in the farm-working community today. We can strengthen our communities by investing in youth and creative projects to ensure to raise educated, active citizens. In the United States, North Carolina ranks as a leader of many agricultural products, making this industry one of the top sources of revenue for the state. Based on the agricultural importance migrant farm-working communities have played in the economy of the state, we can no longer overlook the urgency in providing better educational access to farm-working kids and youth. Education is the primary tool needed to provide the migrant farm-working community with the resources to meet their basic needs. By advocating for educational and vocational programming, we can ensure that when farm-working youth tell their story, they have a smile of pride and hope on each one of their faces.
Diciembre